starting lineups for the Wizards. Antonio Daniels is back, starting with Gilbert Arenas sideline. LeBron's good friend, Rashawn Stevenson, at the other guard spot. Up front, Brendan Hayward, Caron Butler, and Antoine Jamison, who's averaging 17.5 a game during the playoffs after leading the Wizards with 21 a game during the regular season. Here are the Cavs in the backcourt. Delonte West, who hit the game winner on Sunday, along with Wally Szczerbiak. On the front line, Zydrunas Ilgauskas with Ben Wallace and LeBron. I look at the officiating crew. Joe DeRosa stealing the shot by stepping forward. It's Joe with Mike Callahan and Jim Capers Jr. LeBron James, 34 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. And the win on Sunday, including the pass that set up that winning shot by Delonte West. And Reggie, this is a series that has seen 7 technical fouls, 4 flagrant fouls, 1 ejection, a $25,000 fine for that menacing gesture, and a bit of a hip-hop feud. It's had it all.
Well, maybe that's why there was no smiles on the official faces. Maybe they understand the urgency of this game.
Cavaliers control. Only 8 teams in the history of the NBA have come back from a 3-1 deficit to win a playoff series. The last team to do it, Phoenix against the Lakers, first round in 2006. Szczerbiak had it slapped away, and, well, he touched it last, says Mike Callahan. So the ball to the Wizards. So 8 teams in 174 attempts have come back from 3-1. That's about a 4% success ratio.
You want to look at a couple years ago when Phoenix did it against the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers beat up 3-1, and really you want to focus on this game right here. You can only obviously take it one game at a time. If you're the Wizards, this is the game you must have.
West misses on the first shot attempt. The Wizards 0-4 here in Cleveland this season overall. They've lost 8 straight at the Q. Stevenson. Rashawn Stevenson able to hit the jumper, and hears it from the crowd.
Well, he's hearing it because he's starting with the little gas face thing here in hostile environments. So that's a good sign for Eddie Jordan if he makes his first shot. But his main focus out there is to guard LeBron James.
And Szczerbiak with another turnover stepped out of bounds.
2 possessions for the Cavaliers and 2 turnovers by Szczerbiak.
Washington with a backcourt of Daniels and Stevenson. Butler played by Szczerbiak. Stevenson gives it up to Butler, shoots for 3. And a quick start for Washington.
And with no Gilbert Arenas, and we spoke with head coach Eddie Jordan, he feels very comfortable because they've had so many games without Gilbert this year, 69 to be exact. They understand how to play with one another.
Well, during the regular season, as it's back-tapped and controlled by West, and he's able to take advantage. The Wizards 43-39, and Arenas missed 69 games recovering from the knee surgery. So they had themselves a very fine season. Number 5 seed, only 2 games behind the Cavaliers.
No disrespect to Gilbert Arenas, but with him being out, this really has become Caron Butler's team. I thought he played fantastic before he was hurt with that right knee injury.
And it's a 24-second violation, a good defensive sequence by the Cavaliers.
As we see Gilbert Arenas on the bench, but, Caron Butler, you look at his point total, his rebounds, assists, steals, all up across the board. Him as well as Antoine Jamison really got the rest of these guys motivated, as Szczerbiak still struggling with that shot.
That was a wide open look. I believe he was trying to go glass and went off the side of the rim.
He only really had that nice shooting game 2, the game that we did, when he really shot the basketball good for the Cavs.
James missing on his first attempt. Caron Butler during the regular season missed 19 games with An injured left hip, and as you mentioned, Reggie, bothered by a knee problem. He throws it away. Back comes West, met by Butler. Ilgauskas working on Haywood. Series of moves and hits. He went to option number 4.
Well, I don't know if Brendan Haywood could have played that any better. If Zydrunas Ilgauskas is going to make shots like that, it's going to be very difficult for the Wizards to win. Series of moves down low. How many times he's going to pump fake Brendan Haywood with a high arcing shot?
I'm dizzy.
Well, Marv, I spent a good bit of time with Gilbert Arenas this afternoon as he was getting that left knee worked on and trying to decide whether or not he would be in this game tonight or really in for the rest of the season. He told me he really just couldn't stand the pain. He said, I could play through the swelling, but the pain was just too much from that pinched nerve. That's what's really been bothering him. And when he was in games, he said he was taking too many pills and too many shots. He had to take a cortisone shot before Game 4 to even play in that game. He said, for me, it just wasn't worth it. I was going through all that, and I was 50% on the court, so I just shut it down for the rest of the year to give my knee more time to heal.
All right, Marty, obviously Gilbert did not have his normal speed and lateral quickness. That is deflected out. Last touch by the Cavs, and also not able to pull up for those quick stops, the way he put the brakes on and elevate for the jump shot. Could not do it.
And you also get into a numbers game if you're head coach Eddie Jordan, because he's supposed to be on the court for 5 minutes, resting for 3. And you've got guys like Roger Mason Jr. and Antonio Daniels who played fantastic in Game 4, who had it rolling. They're up by 5 points, but you got to take one of them out because Gilbert Arenas, it's time for him to go back in. So I think Eddie Jordan is more comfortable now that he knows that Gilbert Arenas is not going to be playing.
Nice look, and Ben Wallace with a nice scoop move off the pass from LeBron James. How about Ben Wallace's game on Sunday? Did not attempt a shot, had 12 rebounds, 2 blocked shots, so makes a major impact in the game without taking a single shot.
I think Ben Wallace, along with Marcus Camby, are probably the only 2 players that can have the positive and outcome of the game just on the defensive end, as Antonio Daniels knocks down the 3. Just their mere presence out there, blocking shots, rebounding, and playing good defense.
Now the ruling is he stepped on the line. It's a long 2, and the Wizards up by 1. LeBron thought he had Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Well, Ben Wallace is going to get a lot of looks here because Antoine Jamison is going to be tilting a lot off of him, trying to help Brendan Haywood on the pick and roll with the Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Butler gets it inside to Haywood. Back comes West for the Cavaliers. Here's James going at Haywood at a foul. There have been a heavy dose of hard fouls in this series. That was not a hard foul. It's a normal foul, but LeBron has been saying that the Wizards are going beyond basketball, that they're trying to hurt him. Brendan Haywood poked at LeBron's statement. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Well, and I'm sure as LeBron was going down the lane like that, it was kind of reminiscent of Game 2 when Brendan Haywood shoved him out of bounds as he was in air. And so LeBron is going to continue. You got to remember, he's 6'8", 6'9", 260. He has that body to take contact.
Cavaliers lead by 1. Game 5 of this best of 7. And that is a 3-pointer. Caron Butler with 2 threes. Washington up 10-8.
So knocking down those 2 threes for Butler, that's really going to put a lot of pressure on Serviak because he's going to start guarding him out on the perimeter, and that off-the-dribble game is going to be there for Caron.
Here's West getting inside. Wallace thought he was fouled. Daniels pushing it. Stevenson. Good job by Haywood, then it's slapped away. Last touch by Wallace, so the Wizards maintain possession.
Yeah, the Wizards trying to give the Cavs a little dose of their own medicine, attacking the offensive glass, trying to get second shot opportunities.
The last Wizard win here at the Q, February of 2006, including playoffs. They've dropped their last 8. Here's Hayward with a sweeping hook shot. And Brendan Hayward has had himself a career season. 5 of 10, 16 points the other day. He's improved his stroke at the free throw line. He averaged 10 points, 7 rebounds during the regular campaign. James for 3. Yes. 5 points for LeBron. 5.5 remaining in this first quarter. It's the first of our TNT doubleheader. And a foul is called. That'll put Jamison at the line. Coming up in the second game, it'll be game 5 between those surprising Atlanta Hawks and the Boston Celtics. The number 8 seed, providing all kinds of problems for the Celtics, who have the best record in the NBA at 66-16. Dick Stockton and the Czar, Mike Fratello, at the mic. And then Friday on ESPN2, a potential game 6, depending on what happens here between the Cavs and the Wizards. On ESPN, game 6, Celtics and Hawks, followed by game 6 of the Rockets and the Jazz. And on Sunday on ABC, playoff doubleheader. And coverage will start at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time.
How about wait for Austin Skip to Malou, Houston Rockets. He's come back. The Rockets have really shown a lot of life.
What a season for the Rockets, doing it without Yao Ming. Shot clock down to 6. Ilgauskas throws it out, and James got it off, but 24-second violation. And LeBron took a look at Zydrunas as if to say, why did you not shoot the ball with the shot clock running down?
Well, I don't know. He knew the shot clock was at 5 when he got it because he looked up at the clock. You got to try to get that on the backboard and let Ben Wallace attack it.
They continue the discussion.
This is a nice start, though, for Eddie Jordan and the Wizards.
Arias Singala has come on for Antoine Jamison. Here's Butler at a quick release for 3. They were doing a good job fronting Ilgauskas. West from downtown. Then Wallace getting to the rebound. And looked to go behind his back, deflected out, last touch by Washington.
Well, you got to remember, when LeBron James is going to come off a pick and roll with Ben Wallace, they're going to switch that. That means Caron Butler or Deshaun Stevenson is going to have to block out a Ben Wallace. The advantage there goes to Ben Wallace. You've got to be able to face guard Ben Wallace and take him completely out of the play.
Anderson, Varejao, Joe Smith have come on, replacing Wallace and Ilgauskas. Serbiak had trouble handling that pass and lost it. Here comes Butler, Varejao back. Oh, Butler with the bucket. It counts, and the foul on Varejao.
Well, like we said, his numbers are up across the board, and particularly in steals for Caron Butler right here. He gets his hand on while he's looking up at the shot clock, wondering how much time is left. And Anderson Varejao tries to cut off Caron. Caron does a good job of finishing, going to the line, trying to finish the N1.
Now Delonte West sits down, just 1 of 5 from the field, and Daniel Gibson has come on.
How about Serbia? 3 turnovers already in this first quarter. Hasn't hit a shot, struggling offensively.
Mike Brown staying, though, with Wally Serbiak. So Butler with a 3-point play the conventional way, has 3 threes, 9 points. Here's James on the penetration. He turned back and fouled.
Well, it was a good block upstairs from Jamison, but I think Sangala got him down low with the body.
And the foul is on Sangala.
Good job right here by LeBron James, getting into the lane, going up for the shot, and Sangala just a little bit late, rotating over.
Well, LeBron has struggled at the line during the playoffs, only 59%, just 72 during the regular season. And he said he realizes he has a problem at the foul line, has to improve. He claims he's a work in progress, and that's going to be his focal point of his off-season to improve the free throw shooting.
Well, anytime you're going to get to the line at least 10 times as Butler with another drive, that's 11 points for Caron Butler. But what I'm impressed about LeBron is he had 49 free throws coming into tonight's game. That's as many as Antoine Jameson, Arenas, and Butler combined, the big three for the Wizards. So that shows you the aggressiveness of LeBron James.
Oh, Singala took a punch at James, and he's gone. What is he thinking?
Unbelievable. There's no need for that. As we said, LeBron James is going to continue to attack the paint. 6'8", 260. You see the initial foul on LeBron James as he goes baseline. And they get tangled up, but I don't understand the extracurricular from Singala right there. Okay, you get mixed up. There's the foul, but why give him a shot to the chin? And I think the officials on any flagrant foul are going to take a hard line, as now there's a double technical between Deshaun Stevenson and Anderson Varejao as they get into it, as the officials were going over to review what would happen between LeBron James and Darius Singala.
And head coach Eddie Jordan trying to move his players out of the way. This has been a very physical series, a series of name-calling for the most part from the direction of the Washington Wizards. But that was not something you'd expect from Darius Singala. It was kind of a backhand tap, but he connected.
Well, emotions are high between these two teams. You got to understand the Cavaliers have knocked out the Wizards the last 2 years. And now between Stevenson and Anderson Varejao, it's almost like Stevenson saying, wait a minute, he knocked my hand away. But my question is, Deshaun Stevenson, why is your hand anywhere near Anderson Varejao for him to knock it away?
Mike Callahan over at the scorer's table.
Well, you know what? Enough is enough with all the talking. And now you're getting the Wizards getting engaged with the fans by their bench. And look, I've been in situations like this, obviously, when I was with the Pacers. Especially, it's always heated during playoff times. Emotions run high. But if you're Eddie Jordan and if you're Mike Brown, you've got to settle your team down.
All right, here are the calls. Personal foul on Darius Singala. Technical foul on Singala. Not a flagrant. And he was not ejected. Now, that's a punch. That's an automatic ejection. I don't get that.
I'm not necessarily saying it's a punch as more as a backhand as a backhand slap.
And double technicals called on Varejao and Stevenson. That's a very liberal interpretation. I should say Jameson and Varejao caught on the technical.
Well, the officials made the call. This is not to say that Stu Jackson, if Washington Wizards end up winning this game and go back and review the film, he cannot be suspended if there is a game 6.
And apparently they did not review it at the table, and they certainly could have. So Jameson, not Stevenson, called for the technical, and that is an offensive foul.
Well, you're going to see a lot of quick whistles on a lot of plays. Singala moving on the back pick because now the officials, they have to get control of this game.
That's 3 on Singala. And he'll sit down. Brendan Haywood comes off from Singala, and he's telling his teammates we have to settle down. You can see Haywood going around saying, let's be calm here.
Voice of reason?
Yeah, right.
Go figure.
James from way downtown. Rebounded by Jameson.
Well, yeah, remember when he got hit in game 4, he knocked down a three-pointer from about that range. When he got into that little, I guess when Deshaun Stevenson kind of went upside his head, knocked off his headband.
Here's Daniels. Nice touch by Antonio Daniels. Wizards with a 20-14 lead. 2.5 remaining in this first quarter.
If I'm LeBron James, whenever I get the basketball, I go to the rim. Right now, the officials are being very cautious. They don't want any rough play to happen as Varejao unlikely knocking down a 12-footer.
Not a guy you usually see attempting the perimeter shot. So we had a mini explosion after a low-key start. Shot clock to 4. Here's Stevenson. Offensive foul. Deshaun Stevenson called for the charge and a timeout taken. Washington up by 4, just under 2 to go in the first.
Drama.
He's trying to hurt me. I don't know. I mean, come on, man. This is the playoffs, man. He wears 23. He wants to be Michael Jordan. I can respect that. He's a great player. You saw what Mike went through. Mike got fouled way worse than this. You know what I'm saying? No one's trying to hurt him. Everybody's trying to play basketball, trying to play tough. Play basketball, leave it alone. Trying to hurt me.
I remember Michael Jordan in the days of the Bad Boys with Bill Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn and Dennis Rodman, and even Joe Dumars to a certain extent. They always tried to put hands on Michael Jordan, and it was almost like spinach for Popeye. He got stronger, he got more involved, and even Pat Riley's Knicks, when Jordan used to go against him. Charles Oakley, who's one of Michael Jordan's good friends, used to take him out of the air, but Michael really never said anything. He just punished you at the offensive and defensive end.
Do you think LeBron was wrong in saying that the Wizards are going beyond basketball to try to hurt him?
I think LeBron is surprised because this is not the Wizards. The Wizards are not a physical team. If this had been the Detroit Pistons this year, right now over the back by Joe Smith, if this had been the Detroit series, LeBron probably wouldn't say anything because that's the Detroit Pistons. They're known for their defense, or the San Antonio Spurs. But the Wizards, they're an up-and-down team. They're all about offense. And now, come a playoff series, you want to be tough?
Kind of takes them out of their game because of the roughhouse.
Absolutely.
tactics.
You're known for your offense. You're a tri-headed monster. You know, do what you do best.
Offensive foul on Haywood. A number of offensive fouls being called after the double technicals and the incident with Sangaila and James. Incidentally, the scorer's table notifying us that the double technical was on Varejao, which we said, and it was Stevenson, not Jameson, who was called for the other technical foul. And Sangaila sitting on the bench with 3 personals, although he took a poke at James, kind of a backhanded punch. It appeared that the officials had tossed him, and usually you are ejected for throwing a punch, whether it lands or does not land.
Or anything above the shoulder.
Right, but he remains in the game. Joe Smith off the double. And last touch by Varejao. 4-point lead for the Wizards as we come up on a minute remaining in this first quarter. Roger Mason is on the floor for the first time. Mason and Daniels in the backcourt. Butler up front.
Well, on the road, it's critical that the Wizards get off to a fast start. 12-5 when they win the first. 5-17 when they don't. So first quarters have always been big for the Wizards this season.
That's 3 consecutive turnovers committed by Washington, their 8th overall. Gibson got the step. Nice pass to Smith. Varejao keeping it alive, and he is fouled.
Offensive rebounds for the Cavaliers.
Both teams over the foul limit. Oh no, they say now they had a foul to give. My mistake. So LeBron will throw in. James open for three. He hit a three earlier. And the save carried out of bounds, so the ball back to the Wizards.
The Wizards can play for the last shot here.
How rare is it to see exactly 24 seconds remaining in the quarter?
Well, this is going to be a chance for Roger Mason with no Gilbert Arenas. More minutes for Roger Mason Jr. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well in games 1 and 2, but came on in game 3 in that big blowout.
Mason his fifth season out of the University of Virginia. Here's Butler for three. Going right at Devin Brown. 0.5 of a second remaining, and that's it. A good start for the Wizards. They've hit 5 of the last 6 shots. 9 of 14, 64%. For the first quarter, led by Caron Butler with 14. Let's go to Marty Snyder with Eddie Jordan.
Well, Coach, tell me your interpretation of what happened with Darius and LeBron over there, and then the technicals after that.
Well, look, there's a foul on Darius, but I thought they got tangled up. LeBron and Darius's arms got tangled up, and LeBron was the one that tried to free himself going up, and Darius's arm being caught hit him in the chin. And I know that's what happened, and they called a tech on Darius, so we got to live with it.
And then the technicals afterwards.
Just trying to clear the area from our players talking to the officials, and I guess Deshaun and one of their guys were talking face to face, and they got a text. So I didn't see that. I don't mind that one, but I protested that one there on Darius.
Good news is you have a 7-point lead. Go talk to your team.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Well, I'm sure if you speak with head coach Mike Brown, he'll have a different version of that.
Yes.
So when you look at it from that angle, that's a clear punch.
Here's Gibson opening up the second quarter by hitting from downtown. Now, we love Eddie Jordan, but in effect, what he is saying is that LeBron James' face made contact with Darius Singato's hand, or perhaps LeBron hit himself.
I'm a little bit more surprised that the officials did not review that when that is a reviewable offense. So they easily could have looked at that and automatically ejected Darius Singalo, but the playoffs.
No, that's not the answer. You know that. Here's Ilgauskas with an up and under move, and the Cavaliers are within 2. Mason and Daniels are at the guards. Black is up front with Jamison and Butler. Here's Jamison. Good job by Varejao.
Good help by Delonte West coming over.
Butler lost it, able to recover on a deflection and scores! Whoa! It's all going in for Caron Butler. 6 for 7 from the field. 16 points.
Well, we said that this guy had to take over offensively with no Gilbert Arenas. And he tried to go up for the shot right here with the shot clock running down. Boobie Gibson does a good job of getting his hands on it. He kind of just throws it up to the rim, hoping to hit it to get a fresh 24 second. And it goes in.
Two-time All-Star Caron Butler, set back by injuries this season. And as we mentioned earlier, still bothered by a knee problem. He's played through it. Here's West to the rim. Delonte West. So Cleveland showing some signs. Did not shoot well in the first quarter, but they've come out here at the start of the second. Washington without Gilbert Arenas, bothered by bone bruise in his knee, and he is shut down for the rest of the season as Mason is able to drill it. Now, the rest of the season could mean just tonight, but even if...
I'm curious if they are to win this game and get to a Game 6, what would be his thinking?
Watch the Wizards win here, and it's tipped home. It goes back to Washington. for Friday night. 27-25 Wizards. Butler with the setup, and Blatch is fouled, so he will head to the line. The foul is on Varejao. That's his second.
Cavaliers foul number 17, Anderson Varejao. His second personal.
Andre Blatch in his third NBA season, 6'11", 250-pounder, a second-round pick, directly out of high school. Spent some time in the D-League with Roanoke. Well, parenting isn't easy. Watching TV's Funniest Family is. This June, the Bill Engvall Show is back. Catch all new episodes of the true family comedy. That's June the 12th at 9 on TBS.
Very, very funny, my friend.
Threw in an extra very funny, which they'll really appreciate over at TBS. Nick Young, the rookie from the University of Southern Cal, has come on for the first time. Ilgauskas. Looks like Jameson got a piece of it. Stevenson met by Brown. Blatch played by Varejao. Crossover by Blatch. Young rims out. Back comes Gibson.
Don't mind getting a bead of sweat on you, Rook. As soon as you come in, let it fly.
Here's Brown for three. Rebounded by Stevenson. Wants the pick. Gibson able to stay with him. Jameson lost it. Here comes Brown. 3-on-2 develops. Brown all the way. Went to the left hand. West could not hit on the follow. Mason brings back the other way.
This is the pace that the Wizards want. Up and down.
Mason hits again. And Mike Brown takes a timeout. So Mason has hit his last two shots. And Washington opens up a 5-point lead.
And Roger Mason, we said, no Gilbert Arenas tonight. More minutes for Roger Mason Jr. Knocks down the 18-footer.
Whoever it may be, okay? No, he's pushing!
Well, Reggie, Caron Butler saying to his team, control your emotions, and you can see Caron, Brendan Haywood just trying to calm things down.
Well, I like what Caron and really the other co-captain, Anton Jameson, is trying to do. Understanding these are two rivals, if you want to call it that, because, first of all, it has to be a rival when Washington finally beats Cleveland. But Cleveland's owned them the last 2 years. Got to understand that.
Here's Varejao, and he draws the foul. Well, the Cavaliers have sent the Wizards home the last two postseasons. Foul is on Jameson. Last season, Washington swept by Cleveland in the first round, although Washington heavily hit by injuries. 3 years ago, the Cavs won in 6 in the opening round, and Washington has had all kinds of problems winning here in Cleveland. 0-4 at the Q this season, 0-5 in the postseason the last 3 years. The last Washington win here, February of 2006. It is a 4-point Wizards lead.
You know, in the 9 turnovers that the Washington Wizards have, the Cavaliers only being able to score 2 points.
Young cannot hit, but able to retrieve it for Mason. And he has hit his last 3. Roger Mason Jr. out of the University of Virginia, born and raised in Washington, originally a second-round pick of the Bulls, played overseas for several years. Again, James open for 3. That's his second from downtown. Another wide-open look for LeBron James.
I don't know if there was a mix-up with the rookie Nick Young, but you've got to stay attached to LeBron James.
10 points for James. Mason popped it out, and it's another Wizard turnover.
Well, that's supposed to be driving kick, and Nick Young was supposed to go to the short 3 on that. Mason got into the teeth of the defense. He was expecting Nick Young to follow through and get to the short 3, but he didn't.
10 turnovers committed by the Wizards. Cavaliers with just 5. But Washington is up by 3. Gibson for 3. Daniel Booby Gibson hit 4 from downtown on Sunday. Remember his explosiveness in the Eastern Conference Final last season against Detroit. Antoine Jameson right back.
Well, good pick and pop there by Antoine Jameson. Ben Wallace had a long distance to cover to try to get to Jameson.
See Gibson looking for that three-point line. And the ball knocked away. Jameson with the steal. Here comes Stevenson. Mason eluding James. Jameson for 3. And it's an air ball. Ron Butler checking back along with Brendan Hayward. And a timeout is called. Just under 6 remaining in the first half. Wizards up by 2. We'll be back to the Q in a moment.
I'm here with Gilbert Arenas, who is not playing tonight, obviously. And Gilbert, I don't know how many times you and I have talked in the last 2 weeks about your left knee, but what went into the decision to close it out for the year?
It was a tough one. You know, we've done everything we can to try to get me out there and play, but, you know, I'm still beating it up. And, you know, I barely made the flight because I couldn't walk. You know, so we decided, you know, let's shut it down and, you know, let AD run the point guard and run the team again.
Was it hard for you, A, to be out there, but also to make this decision to say, you know what, I'm just not going to play anymore this year?
You know, it was a hard decision. You know, I'm glad the team gave me an opportunity, you know, to come back and try my luck, you know, in the playoffs. And, you know, I respect them for that because, you know, they could have said no and turned it back on me. But, you know, as a team, they said, you know, come on in, you know, we accept you and go out there and play.
Does this affect your future plans? You may or may not be a Wizard next year. Do you want to be a Wizard next year?
Of course. You know, this is, you know, the city that embraced me. You know, Poland took a chance on me. You know, I would love to come back if they want me back.
All right, they say he'll be 100% next October. In the meantime, he'll rehab the left knee and try to get back out there, Marv.
All right, guys, a very tough season physically for Gilbert Arenas. Deshaun Stevenson hits the 3. And again, here's it from the crowd.
Well, I kind of like what Gilbert said, that the team gave him a chance, even though he was hurt to come on out there. Delonte gets fouled going to the basket. But it made the decision easy for head coach Eddie Jordan, because now he gets into the set rotations. You see, this is what Poland and Eddie Jordan and the rest of Ernie Grunfeld is facing this offseason. It's the future of these players. Jameson is up. Gilbert Arenas can opt out of his contract. There's been reports that Gilbert will take less money for them to sign Antoine Jameson.
And Reggie Gilbert says he wants to test the market, although seems to be leaning to re-sign with Washington. He missed 69 games this regular season. Recovering from knee surgery, now has that bone bruise, pinched nerve in his left knee, which was surgically repaired. He was not his usual hibachi self this year due to injury. Here's Mason.
More like a George Foreman drill in this series.
Nothing personal against the George.
No, not at all.
No. He was excellent. Gibson with a bad pass right to the legs of Smith. So the ball back to the Wizards. Sean Stevenson hearing it from the crowd because following the made field goals, he gives you that feel my face gesture. And here's Stevenson for 3, and here it is.
Well, you were doing that in the makeup chair earlier, so
I think you're thinking about somebody else. And Stevenson has shot well. It's an 8-0 run for the Wizards. They now lead by 6. There's Mike Brown telling us earlier his major concern is West fires for 3. Delonte West from downtown. But Mike saying his greatest concern, the fact that it is a desperation game for Washington, the fact that his guys may not take it with a sense of urgency, because even if they lose, it'll be still a 3-2 lead.
Well, they were in the same situation last year against New Jersey. They could have came here and closed it out, lost that Game 5, and then closed it out in New Jersey last year. So this is a team that sometimes has lost focus.
Good play by Stevenson, and he shoots the three. Rebounded by James. James played by Mason. Again, fires from deep. He's been settling for long-range shots in this first half. Stevenson is fouled by Gibson. Stevenson 3 of 6 from the field, has 8 points at all. The foul on Gibson. That is his first. Let's check in with Marty Schneider. Marty.
Well, Marv, I have a question for Reg. You know, with all the talk in this series, don't you think it'd be a good idea to avoid public places if you were Deshaun Stevenson?
You would think.
What did Deshaun do yesterday? He went to the mall attached to the hotel in the public where everybody was around. He had 5 teammates with him, and it's a good thing he did. He was accosted several times, called several names, and even a couple of guys wanted to get into some fights. I asked him, did it bother you? He said, no, not really. He said, it bothers everybody else. It doesn't bother me, though. I don't think he'll be looking for property in Cleveland anytime soon, though.
My question for Marty is, was he stalking Deshaun Stevenson in the mall?
I'm like, why would you go to the mall in Cleveland?
Deshaun has the last 8 points for the Wizards. And they now lead at 42-37. Butler now defending on James. Here's LeBron. Rebounded by Ilgauskas, and he's fouled. Ilgauskas will head to the line. Foul on Jameson. That is his third. It's been a good first half for Cleveland's public enemy number 1. Here's X6, a coop above.
Well, we know LeBron James is going to draw a lot of attention, and head coach Eddie Jordan and the Wizards have to have their head on a swivel. Roger Mason Jr. forgets where Delonte West is. He goes to the top of the three-point line and knocks down a wide-open three. Yes, you're going to have a lot of tilting with LeBron James, but you have to see Man-U involved. Always keep an eye on the shooters for the Cavaliers.
Cavaliers at 12 for 31, not shooting well at 38%. While the Wizards 16 of 30, 53% from the field, and have done a good job off the boards. They were killed off the boards Game 4 Sunday afternoon, 51-31.
18 of those offensively for the Cavs.
Ilgauskas trims it to a 4-point Washington lead. 7 points for Zydrunas. Very quiet first half for LeBron James. 2 of 7 from the field, both from three-point land. Nothing inside the arc or in the paint for James. And LeBron with only 3 assists thus far.
And a very LeBron James-like game.
Singailu back on the floor, gets it down low to Ron Butler. His pass to the backcourt, but it was deflected, and Stevenson fires one. It's a 24-second violation.
Good deflection there by the Cavaliers, extending their defense, overplaying, getting hands in the passing lane.
Cavaliers have a backcourt of Gibson and West. Up front, James with Ilgauskas and Wallace. Game 5 of the best-of-7 opening round series. Cavaliers in front 3-1. If there is a Game 6, if the Wizards can come up with a victory, they'll meet again back in Washington on Friday night.
Well, I don't sense any sense of desperation for the Cavaliers. It's almost kind of like they're going through the motion with yet another turnover for the Cavaliers.
And the crowd reacting to that bad pass. Right here, let's step away. We'll check in with Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studio.
All right, thank you, Marv. Southwest Airlines game break coming up at the half. Kenny and Charles will be here to analyze the first 24 minutes in Cleveland. Later, we'll take you to Boston for Game 5 in the Hawks-Celtics series. Dick Stockton and Mike Fratello on the job there. Now we head back to Cleveland to see how Antonio Daniels is feeling, Marv.
All right. Thank you, Ernie.
Daniels right there, it looked like he kind of re-injured that left wrist that's been giving him so much problems throughout the year. Got fouled, went down, tried to brace himself.
And that is deflected out by the Wizards. Not much happening here the last minute and a half. It's a 3-point Washington lead. Just under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, Marty Snyder were at the Q in Cleveland. James tempted again from three-point land. Shot clock to 4. Down to 2. Gibson strip. What a play by Daniels. And he takes it all the way.
Nice defensive effort by Daniels right there. He said just re-injured that left wrist. Boobie Gibson took too much time to try to get the ball on the rim.
And Antonio Daniels hurting. He just got tripped up. Down he goes again. And the ball was last touched by the Cavaliers, according to Joe DeRosa, checking with the other officials.
The shot clock running down. Daniels does a good job of going behind Daniel Gibson, getting a hand on the ball, out for the easy lay-in.
Cavaliers do have a foul to give, as do the Wizards. Stevenson. Good idea, pass off the dribble, but Hayward could not handle it.
And if anything, that's the most frustrating thing for a guard, is when you give a big guy a pass like that. And a lot of times they tell you never throw a big man a bounce pass. But you've got to be able to have good hands for a big man to finish.
Here's James taking to the rim. It's tipped home by Ilgauskas. That was a rare move in the direction of the basket for LeBron James.
Well, there's been 2 days off since Game 4. Head coach Mike Brown electing to give them that first day off, and then they had an extended film session and about a 45 minute to an hour workout yesterday. We don't know if LeBron James maybe is a little tired, saving himself for the second half.
James looking for the steal. Obviously looking to finish this first half in productive fashion. A first half that saw LeBron take a shot from Darius and Garland. 3 technicals called. And a foul on Gibson. That will send Stevenson to the line.
Another person that's been quiet in this second quarter for the Wizards, Caron Butler, who got off to that fast start in that first quarter, 14 points. Only 2 in the second quarter.
Third foul on Gibson. Here's Deshaun Stevenson. He's in his 8th NBA season. Originally drafted on the first round by Utah. Right out of high school in Fresno, California. It's the second year with Washington after 3 years with Orlando. And the only Wizard to start every game this season.
Wally Serbiak comes in for Daniel Gibson. 0 of 1 in this first half. 3 turnovers. Mike Brown trying to find some production out of Serbiak.
Wizards by 4. We're down to 20 seconds remaining in the half. Ilgauskas. Nice move. Able to make the adjustment while in the air. 10 seconds left in the half. It's a 2-point Washington lead. Butler over James. And that's the end of the first half. The Wizards with a 45-43 lead on the Cavaliers as they look to extend to a Game 6 in our nation's capital. The Cavs trying to close it out in 5. Caron Butler, the story for the Wizards, 16 points, 3 from three-point range. Deshaun Stevenson had a good half with 11 points. He hit 2 threes. LeBron James just 2 of 8 from the field for 10 points. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, the high man for the Cavs, 5 of 6 for 12. Let's go to Marty with Caron Butler.
Well, a terrific first quarter for Caron Butler, as Reggie just mentioned a moment ago. 14 in the first, but only 2 in the second. Did they change what they were doing on you defensively?
Yeah, obviously, they started loading up a little bit more, and, I was trying to do a better job of getting my team base involved, and that's exactly what happened. We still got the lead at half, and we got to build on this momentum.
Well, the offense looked nice. It seems like the defense seems to be working better for you guys.
Yeah, we're doing a good job of just protecting the paint, making it difficult for LeBron James and the rest of those guys, and, controlling the boards. We're doing a better job of rebounding, but they're still getting a lot of second chance points.
Harv? All right, Marty. So it is a 2-point lead for the Washington Wizards. Coming up, Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studio. Here's Marv Albert along with Reggie Miller, and the Wizards have played very well in this first half as they look to extend this series to a 6th game in Washington on Friday night, and Washington doing it without the injured Gilbert Arenas.
Well, you were wondering who was going to step up for the Wizards, and this is Eddie Jordan, a guy, Roger Mason and Antonio Daniels, who they are comfortable with. Daniels can get it done a number of ways. We know that he re-injured that left wrist, but hit 2 jumpers, 3 of 3 in that first half. And Roger Mason Jr., who is a dead-eye shooter, does a good job of taking the ball off the dribble and is a good standstill shooter. But now they need to see Antoine Jameson only 1 of 3 in that first half. He does have 6.
Now let's take a look at tonight's Dodge game summary. Wizards at 52%, 17 of 33 from the field. They've hit 5 from downtown. Cavaliers 14 of 35, only 40% shooting. Washington a minus 20 off the boards in Game 4 on Sunday, plus 2 tonight. Let's check it with Marty Schneider. Marty.
Mark talked to Coach Jordan at the Wizards. He said too many turnovers in that first half. They had 13. He said, but we need to advance the ball quicker. Too many shot clock attempts, meaning the shot clock running out, taking an attempt late in the shot clock. He said, most of our problems are offensive, not defensive. Talked to Antonio Daniels also. He said that left wrist, he had them re-wrap it. He said, wrap it as tight as you can. Mark?
Hi, Marty. Antonio taking a spill while he was fouled late in the second quarter, and then hit a shot at the other end. Jameson lost control, and back comes West. LeBron James, only 2 of 8 from the field, 10 points in the first half. There's Serbiak for 3. Nice ball movement by the Cavaliers.
Well, that's a welcoming sight for head coach Mike Brown, if they can find a way to get Wally Serbiak going offensively. That would help out this Cavs offense.
Cavaliers take the lead. Serbiak with his first field goal of the night.
First 5 minutes are critical for the Wizards. They got to keep this momentum going that they had in the first half.
Here's Daniels with the shot clock rolling down. So Washington back up by a point. Mike Brown has Delonte West at the point. He is West and Serbiak in the backcourt with James, Ilgauskas, and Wallace up front. West for 3. And here's Daniels on the run. It's a blocking foul on West.
Delonte West wondering, what does I have to take to get a charge? Maybe a second slow getting there with the contact on Daniels.
For Delonte, his first personal foul. Stevenson and Daniels at the guards with Hayward up front along with Jameson and Butler, and Deshaun Stevenson has shot the ball well. 13 points for Stevenson.
And I think Eddie Jordan has said at halftime, if Serbiak's going to be on the floor, we're going to go at him, whether he's guarding Butler or Stevenson.
Well, LeBron James have the alley along that baseline and able to take it to the rim. Just underway in the third quarter. Butler changed his mind. Shot clock to 3. Daniel, that's a difficult shot, twisting away from Ilgauskas.
He's 5 of 5 from the field, and he has an assortment of difficult shots, Marv.
Antonio Daniels back in the starting lineup due to the injury suffered by Gilbert Arenas. Decided that he could not go with that bone bruise on his knee. Butler. The tip. Oh, beautiful. Second effort by Caron Butler.
And like I said, if Wally Szczerbiak is going to be on the floor defensively, you've got to get a mindset if you are Caron Butler or Deshaun Stevenson, making a conscious effort to take him off the dribble.
Nice lead pass. The lob from West to Ilgauskas. 53-50 Washington. Caron Butler with 18 points, 14 coming in the first quarter. Butler lost it. Stevenson took it away and fires. It was 1 on 3, but he took the shot, and it leads to this. Szczerbiak is open. James with the rebound, and he's fouled.
Well, the ill-advised shot at one end for Deshaun Stevenson. He comes up with the steals. Should have waited for him to get better numbers. He jacks up a 3 and ignites a fast break for the Cavs.
Foul on Butler is first. James at the line, 4 of 6 at the line, shooting only 59% from the free throw strike in this playoff series. And as we touched on earlier, LeBron says, hey, I know I have to improve at the foul line. He's about 72% during the regular season. And he says he'll be working on it during the offseason.
Well, I believe him, because you got to remember, this past offseason when he had Team USA commitments, he took assistant coach Chris Gent and really worked on his outside shooting, knowing that that's what teams were playing him for. No doubt will Chris Gent and him be in the gym working on these free throws.
Last touch by the Cavaliers. And there is Chris Gent, the shooting coach for the Cavaliers, one-time member of the Rockets, the Knicks, played overseas.
All Big Ten player at Ohio State University. The Ohio State University,
yes,
I was supposed to say, correct?
1-point lead for the Wizards. Szczerbiak lost it and then called for the foul, preventing the fast break by Daniels. Another turnover committed by Wally Szczerbiak. That's his 4th.
Szczerbiak looks like he's a step slow. I'm not quite sure that Mike Brown may have to go with Daniel Gibson maybe a little bit sooner in this third quarter. Just doesn't look comfortable out here at both ends of the floor.
Wally was acquired in that 3-way deal involving Chicago and Seattle, the deal involving Ben Wallace and Joe Smith, Delonte West coming to Cleveland. That's a wide-open shot for Jamison. Wallace beat the Wizards down, and then Szczerbiak threw the layup. Daniels. Rebounded by Szczerbiak. James. Back tap. Szczerbiak gets to it. And fires. Deflected out by Danielson.
Wow.
Wild end-to-end play.
Well, I'm telling you, it looks like Wally Szczerbiak is running in quicksand. Or trying to get out of quicksand. He is 3 steps slower than everyone else on the floor.
James for 3. Yes, that's his 3rd three-pointer.
For all his field goals, 3 of his 4 field goals has come from behind the arc.
7-0 run by the Cavaliers. In Game 4, Cleveland hit 13 threes, a franchise playoff record. Nice move by Stevenson, then try to protect it. Here comes James. And Augustus try to get it back the other way to James under the ball pressure. So Washington will get it back, but first a timeout. 6.5 to play here in the third. We're at the Q in Cleveland. It's been a good one. Cavaliers up by 2.
That was the worst half we played all series, and we're down 2.
Hey, we got to be aggressive. We've got to be aggressive. We don't want to let this team off the hook.
Can't take anything for granted now. You got to be a receiver. Bring the ball up quicker with some power, some control, and get it to the offense with good angles and good cuts and good screens.
All right, both coaches talking to their teams at halftime.
Well, there's a sense of urgency really from both camps. If you're the Wizards, obviously other than going home, you really have nothing to lose, so you should be playing a little bit loosey-goosey, a little bit more free. If you're the Cavaliers, they've been pressing a little bit too much so far in this game.
Rare miss for Caron Butler. Cavs looking to close out the series in 5. The Wizards hoping to extend to a Game 6 back home on Friday night. Shot clock to 5. James from the wing, way off. Jamison able to save that pass. Dangles with the wide open shot. And here comes James. Moving on the back penalty. Butler ties him up. James still able to get the shot off and ends up with a somersault. He'll head back to the line.
Well, what, if you're Caron Butler and you have LeBron James running at you like that, try to stop him up high. Here's LeBron James with the rebound. The only one back is Caron Butler. He starts to grab him at the free throw line, and that carries all the way to the rim.
It's not a happy moment when you're backpedaling and you have LeBron exploding in your path. Major League Baseball action returns to TBS Sunday. 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Johan Santana and the Mets take on Dan Hahn. And the Diamondbacks, Chip Carey and Jim Cott will have all the action. That's Sunday at 4.
He's actually running away with that Pacific Division out there.
Ilgauskas getting a piece of that. A check from Haywood. Wizards have missed their last 9 shots. Ilgauskas spinning inside off the beautiful lead thrown by James.
Right now, this is a very touchy-go situation for Eddie Jordan and the Wizards. You cannot let separation right now.
Daniels, another Washington miss, but a loose ball foul is called. Stay right here, says the official Mike Callahan. It's on the Cavaliers. It's on Ilgauskas. The Cavs are in the midst of an 11-0 run, and they lead by 6, their biggest lead of the game.
What an advantage it is for LeBron James on the break. Can see over the defense because of his size.
Stevenson forced the issue. Jamison is on it.
That's the man who needs to get going for the Wizards. Antoine Jamison, 1 of 5, 3 points.
Daniels with the runner. Kept alive by Haywood. They missed their last 12 shots. Make it 13 in a row. Jamison finally able to score for Washington. Another offensive rebound for the Wizards. And that ends the 11-0 run.
Well, the Wizards were shooting 51% at halftime, now down to 41%.
James, again, way off. Butler putting moves on. Jamison. Caron Butler on the follow to bring Washington within 2.
Second shot opportunities for the Wizards, keeping them alive in this third quarter.
Butler has 20. He's the high man for Washington. Although James has not shot well, leads Cleveland with 19. Here's Serbiak. And it's deflected out by Haywood. So the Cavaliers maintain possession. Let's go to Marty Snyder.
Mark, just a real quick point, and Coach Jordan has been harping on this the entire time from the sidelines. Rebound, 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 and the Wizards are doing a nice job of it, especially offensively. That's what killed them when the Cavs were doing that to them in Game 4.
It was a 51-31 edge on Sunday. Here is Gibson, Varejao, Smith, Mike Brown making changes. Ilgauskas, Serbiak, and Wallace sit down. Daniel Gibson being watched by Caron Butler. Roger Mason has returned for Washington. He's defending on James. Here's Gibson. Yes. A line drive three for Gibson. That's his third from downtown.
And those were the same shots that Serbiak was getting at the start of this quarter. You bring in a fresh Daniel Gibson. As Antoine Jamison looks like that's back-to-back basket for him.
Jamison answers with a three. Cavaliers lead by 2.
Cavaliers, let's pick and roll.
And last touch by the Cavs.
Well, Daniel Gibson just checks in. Short corner three right here. And Jamison, who's been struggling all night, 3 of 8 from the field, 8 points, but made his last 2.
With James to the left. James foul. Get a hard foul. Another heated matchup between these two clubs.
The Washington Wizards back in the series. It's their biggest playoff win ever. LeBron into the air, left sideline, Delonte West hits the 3-ball.
Well, this has been a series that has seen technical fouls, flagrant fouls, ejections, over-the-top trash talking, including some absurd statements. And the Cavaliers with a 3-1 lead. They won the first 2 here in Cleveland. Wizards took Game 3 in Washington by 36. Cavaliers winning Game 4 on Sunday. And right here have a 2-point lead with 2.5 to go in the third. Pretty move by Jamison. Rebounded by Smith. A front line of Joe Smith, Anderson, Varejao, and LeBron James. Delonte West and Daniel Gibson in the backcourt. And Gibson has had a hot hand from deep, as he did on Sunday when he hit 4 from downtown. Smith and a foul.
And Jamison's upset at that call because he felt at the other end that he at least should have been shooting free throws when he had Joe Smith in the air and did not get the call. That foul may have been out of frustration.
And it's number 4 on Jamison, who has been quiet to this point, only 8 points. Joe Smith, part of that 3-team deal, coming over to the Cavaliers in his 13th season out of Maryland. A reminder, you can go to the expanded TNT Overtime on NBA.com and check out Reggie's Mailbag, where Reggie Miller will reply to your emails with such annoying abbreviations like LOL, OMG. You know what I'm talking about. TNT Overtime on NBA.com, where you can get TNT NBA Thursday 7 days a week.
LOL-OMG. Wow. Laugh out loud. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think that's what it means, correct?
You're asking me. That's sad. Butler for 3.
That's how he was heating up in that first quarter. Step back threes. Caron Butler, 9 of 16, 23 points, continuing that hot shooting from the first half.
Caron with his 4th 3-pointer, and the game is tied. Here's the double on James. Smith. Sangano with the save.
Well, I hope Cleveland does not think that they can just toy with the Wizards and wait till the fourth quarter to turn it on.
Songaila getting inside. An 8-1 run for Washington. They've turned it around earlier in this third quarter. Cleveland with 11 unanswered points. Washington had missed 13 straight shots. Here's Varejao. Air ball. Trying to draw the foul. Songaila gets ahead of the field, and he is fouled by West.
Well, that was a smart move there by Jamison. He probably should have put Anderson Varejao on the line. Not a very good free throw shooter, but understanding he has 4 fouls, he can't go to the bench. Here's Anderson Varejao, somewhat out of control, going to the basket. Jamison lets him go. Wild shot by Varejao.
Songaila, a terrific free throw shooter, 92% at the line during the regular season. Not a guy goes to the line that frequently because of the minutes that he would see, but he was 67 and 73 at the foul line.
Eddie Jordan now takes out Jamison with those 4 fouls with 49 seconds left on the clock. Brings in Haywood. Buy Jamison some minutes before the fourth.
Mike Brown putting on Devin Brown for Delonte West. Wizards back up by 4. LeBron backing it up. Shot clock to 6. Here's James off the head fake, going at Hayward.
And that's terrible defense by the Wizards, and more importantly by Brendan Haywood. When we saw the screen coming up, you've got to come up there with Anderson Varejao and make LeBron James make a decision.
3-second differential as the third quarter winds down. James with 21 points, 11 coming here in the third. Songaila, yes, Darius Songaila with 4 seconds to play in the third quarter. There's a foul, not a good foul. It is on Butler.
Well, they had a foul to give.
They had the foul to give.
And the ball was coming in, so that's why it will not be an automatic 2 free throws. If the ball had not been inbounded, LeBron James would be shooting free throws right now.
James putting moves on Daniels. Shoots the 3. And did well to get that shot off. After 3. Wizards hoping to extend to a game 6. They're up by 4. We'll be back to the queue after this. Fourth quarter. Just a moment away. Marty Snyder talked with Cavalier head coach Mike Brown.
Well, Coach, a really tight game here. What do you need to do better in the fourth to put them away?
We got to make sure we take care of the basketball and rebound. Right now they're hurting us on the offensive glass, getting second shots. We had a chance to increase the lead, but we turned the ball over and gave up second shots.
I don't know how many huddles in a row you've been yelling, box out, box out. They don't seem to be listening, do they?
Yeah, not right now. Hopefully they will in the fourth quarter.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, a 4-point lead for the Wizards. Cavaliers in possession as this fourth quarter gets underway. James tried to change his mind on that pass and was not able to adjust.
Well, what Mike Brown is alluding to is 9 offensive rebounds for the Wizards, but even though LeBron James has 21 points, he's only 5 of 15 from the field, and a lot of them have been long jumpers. So you hope that the Wizards don't do anything dumb, like hard foul him like they did in Game 4 where they wake him up, but you look at where his points have come from, 9 from beyond the arc, none from the 2-point range. So right now, let sleeping dogs lie. Don't do anything dumb to wake them up.
Foul on Ilgauskas putting Butler at the line. LeBron James rarely taking it to the rim in the first half. We've seen more in the second half. Ron Butler with a playoff career high 25 points. And he's given The Wizards a 6-point lead. Here's James. He lost the dribble. Back comes Butler.
Smart decision.
Brown has also done a nice job defensively on James. Mason with the miss.
And you talk about a backbreaker three right there. Mason Jr. hits that. Takes this to a 9-point lead.
Gibson for three. Good job by Mason getting to that loose ball. Mason and Daniels in the backcourt. Butler, Haywood, and Sangaila up front for Eddie Jordan's Wizards. Haywood blocked from behind by Ilgauskas. Varejao lost control. And the outside official, Jim Capers, makes the call. It's on the Cavaliers.
How about Haywood battling for the defensive glass right here, taking on Varejao. LeBron James, here's the drive right here. Varejao with a wild shot. Haywood in there battling Big D. Anderson coming up with big, important defensive rebounds.
Foul on Ilgauskas, his third. Sangaila with the feed. Haywood not able to handle it, and last touch by Cleveland.
Quick hands by Joe Smith, but Brendan Haywood, 2 back-to-back times he's gotten to the rim and hasn't been able to finish.
8 on the shot clock. Daniels will throw in. Here's Mason with a catch and shoot. And Smith is on it. The crowd getting a little anxious here. The home team down by 6 in a potential closeout game. Foul on Butler. Reaching in on James. And to Toronto, it's number 4.
Well, number 4 on Butler, 4 on Jamison as he comes back in for Haywood. Now you've got another scoring option to go along with Butler and Jamison.
Haywood just 1 of 6, 4 rebounds. Now James at the post. Played by Mason. Shot clock to 3. Here's Devin Brown for 3. That's his first field goal.
Devin Brown doing a good job of spacing out. Understand they're going to be following LeBron James down low. You've got to get behind that 3-point line.
The Wizard lead is 3. Sangaila gives it up. Mason. 8 points for Roger Mason Jr. 73-68 Washington. They've come up with a very strong performance here on the road. And an arena where they've had all kinds of problems. James takes to the rim. He has 23, and he brings the Cavaliers within 3. Wizards have lost their last 8 games here in Cleveland. Sangaila. Nice pass. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Wizards. Eddie Jordan takes a timeout. A foul on the play. Also, it's on Sangaila. That is number 4. So we'll take a break with just under 8.5 remaining in the 4th.
You know, I'm the captain of the team. Antoine's the captain of the team. And when you hear our voice, then that's the voice you need to listen to. And, you know, we don't talk. We are doers, and we go out there and play hard. And we, you know, some of the most professional dudes you ever meet. And, you know, and our team follow. And, you know, just because somebody states an opinion saying that, you know, in his mind he felt that he was overrated, so be it. You know, but now the thing just got, you know, pretty much blown out of proportion. And now I got to get back to basketball.
Well, Caron Butler and Antoine Jamison, the co-captains, have been trying to settle things down. They did have that one outburst, Wizards and Cavaliers, back in the first quarter, but otherwise, It's been pure basketball.
Yeah, and I like what Karan is saying there. They have to be the two voices on this very young team. And understanding what Deshaun said about LeBron being overrated, you know, we're going to stand behind you. You're our teammate. But understand, we don't need any bulletin board material going up to make it even that much tougher for us to win a playoff game.
Foul committed by Mason. The winner of this series will face the winner between the Celtics and the Hawks. And we'll have Game 5 of that surprising series coming up next here on TNT. Brown rimming out on a three. Smith with the rebound. The tip by Ilgauskas. The Wizard lead is down to 1. Oh, Gibson looking for the steal. And they just do get it across the midcourt line. Sungala rejected by Ilgauskas. James to the rim. LeBron James with the tomahawk. The Cavaliers lead by 1.
When does Eddie Jordan start to bring back Deshaun Stevenson to go against LeBron James? Now you entered the sixth man, this crowd here for the Cavaliers. Nice block by Big Z right here, which leads to a fast break. LeBron James cutting into the middle with a nice flush.
The Cavaliers have taken a 74-73 lead, leading to the Wizard timeout with just under 7.5 to go in the fourth quarter.
How about Virginius Ilgauskas? 8 of 10 from the field, 18 points, only 4 rebounds, but all of them on the offensive end. 10 offensive rebounds for the Cavaliers. They had 18 in Game 4.
Here is Butler for 3. James able to haul it down, and the Cavaliers controlling the board here in the fourth. Brown hesitant to shoot. He had the three-point attempt, and they regroup. Here's James, and he's fouled. Deshaun Stevenson is back on the floor defending on LeBron James. LeBron was able to get the step, and the foul was picked up by Haywood. So James to the line. He is 8 of 10 at the line. National coverage of the NBA playoffs continues. Coming up next here on TNT. Game 5 between the Hawks and the Celtics. Dick Stockton and Lazar. Mike Fratello will have it for you. The number 8 seed, the Hawks, giving the Celtics all kinds of problems. Friday on ESPN2, a potential Game 6 between these two clubs on ESPN. Game 6 of the Celtics and Hawks, followed by Game 6 of the Rockets and the Jazz. And Sunday on ABC, a playoff doubleheader. Remains to be seen which teams will be involved. Brown is called on the foul. Second team foul on the Cavaliers.
Well, this is the time now. 6 minutes 40 left in this game. Caron Butler, who has played fantastic, 25 points on 9 of 17 shooting, or Antoine Jamison. No Gilbert Arenas. These two guys offensively have to raise their game.
And both have 4 fouls. Here's Jamison, stopped by Smith. Shot clock to 4. Haywood is fouled. Ilgauskas and Smith coming over the top. And that'll put Haywood at the line.
Well, Daniels does a good job right here of getting into the pocket of the defense. Nice little dump down to Haywood. And go up and finish.
Foul's on Smith. Brendan Haywood, who, as we mentioned earlier, has had a career year, has improved his free throw shooting 74% during the regular season, as he jumped up from 55% last year.
Well, he credits head coach Eddie Jordan and assistant coach Randy Ayers coming to visit him during the offseason, having faith in him. And a lot of it with Eton Thomas being hurt all year, he knew the job was his.
Gibson almost forced into the backcourt. Cavaliers by 1. Brown is open for 3. Perfect setup, but Devin Brown could not hit. Here's Butler. Butler with the rebound. Just under 6 minutes to play in the fourth. James penetrates and scores. And we're seeing LeBron James take it to the rim more frequently in the second half.
Cavaliers had advantage right there. Butler was on the floor, 5 against 4.
Jamison draws the foul. Antoine will shoot 2. Ben Wallace and Delonte West getting set to check in. The foul on Ilgauskas, his 4th.
Here, Butler trying 1-on-3, take on the Cavaliers. Misses the shot, gets the initial rebound, misses it, and at the other end, like I said, the Cavaliers had the advantage, 5-on-4. LeBron James slices for the easy lay-in.
Antoine Jamison only a 76% free throw shooter and 1 of 3 here tonight. So Devin Brown and Zydrunas Ilgauskas will sit down. Zydrunas, a major factor in the Cavaliers' good play in the second half. Jamison missing on both.
Big possession here for the Cavaliers.
LeBron James with 8 of Cleveland's last 10 points. Here's Gibson for 3. Haywood with the rebound. Stevenson moves it across. Met by West. 5 minutes to go in the fourth. Stevenson. He is fouled. That'll put Stevenson at the line. The foul on West. West is 3rd. Parenting isn't easy. Watching TV's Funniest Family is this June. The Bill Engvall Show is back. You can catch all new episodes of the family comedy June 12th at 9 only on TBS.
Very funny, my friend.
Very. Stevenson is now 4 of 5 at the line, an 80% free throw shooter. And as you'd expect, getting the treatment from the crowd.
As you said, public enemy number 1 here in Cleveland.
Stevenson, 15 points, 5 rebounds. And James is fouled by Haywood. And that's number 5 on the Wizards. So they're over the limit. Haywood with his 4th. And the Wizards in foul trouble. 4-piece on Haywood, Butler, Jamison, and Songaila.
And LeBron James back to the line, 10 of 12 so far this game, but 59 on the series. So it looks like he's in a better rhythm this game as opposed to the previous 4.
And LeBron has really come on. For LeBron James, it was not a terrific first half. But now you look at the stat line, 31 points, 21 of the 31 in the second half, along with 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Butler and foul. Fouled by Wallace.
Nice hesitation move for Ron Butler. Coming off the pick and roll right here, he kind of freezes Ben Wallace, and the crowd cannot believe the foul. They thought there was all ball on the pin on Butler.
Second on Wallace. Butler 4 for 4 at the line. He missed 19 games in the regular season with an injured left hip. 1 point back in December. Caron was leading the league in field goal percentage, 3-point shooting, and free throw percentage, and was shooting better than 50% from downtown.
You know, this is very interesting because we're talking about the foul on Deshaun Stevenson on Ben Wallace. You know, we saw Greg Popovich throughout their series go to the Hacker Shack. Ben Wallace, one of the worst free throw shooters in the NBA, probably in the history of the NBA. We wondered if Eddie Jordan was going to go to it, he gave us 3 theories. He had to make sure they were in the penalty, make sure no one was in foul trouble on his team, and if they were playing good defense up to this point, they could go to the hack-a-bin theory.
And he said normally he's reluctant. It's something that he does not like to do.
Well, we posed this question. If he was up 5, would he go to it? Right. Or if he was down 1? And he's like, we haven't gone to it all series, so we got to make sure we're a better... First of all, when he misses the free throws, we have to box out. And they almost gave it up right there.
That's the danger right there. And now the foul is on Wallace. That is his third, so the clock is stopped. Both teams are over the foul limit. Now the Wizards are at the foul line. Yes, you did hit Eddie Jordan with every conceivable mathematical possibility. And when you left the room, Eddie said, he is really annoying.
But now the Wizards are not making the Cavs pay from the free throw line. Head coach Mike Brown takes out Ben Wallace, inserts Joe Smith, who obviously is a much better free throw shooter.
That was Butler's first miss, 5 of 6 at the line. So the game is tied at 80 with 4.5 remaining on the fourth. Ilgauskas is back. He's up front with Smith and James. And a foul is called.
Silly foul by Brendan Haywood, grabbing Zydrunas Ilgauskas short on the pick and roll. Nothing wrong with coming out and showing that, but you don't grab his shorts in plain view of 2 officials who are on either side of you.
In fact, several teammates shaking their heads on that one.
You put one of the better free throw shooting Cavs at the line in Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
He's 80% for the season. 3 of 3 here tonight. 19 points for Ilgauskas. Cavaliers by 1. They jump out at Butler. Stevenson off the ball fake. Deshaun Stevenson has given the Wizards an 82-81 lead.
Well, I'm glad he made that shot because he had a wide open Darius Sangala for an easy 13-footer.
Stevenson defending on James. Shot clock to 5. Here's LeBron, and he'll head back to the line. It is a free throw shooting contest here in the final minutes. Balance and Gila, number 5.
Well, you see Stevenson get into the lane. You see Ilgauskas comes over, and then LeBron with the nice little swoop move. A little extra hop gets him inside, little bump there.
James now 13 of 15 at the line.
Yeah, he's found his rhythm from the free throw line. He has struggled in this series, 59%.
In fact, both misses taking place in the first quarter until now. James with the follow. He thought he was fouled. The ball was knocked out of his hands.
Again, offensive rebounding haunting the Wizards. And it's especially out of a free throw situation when you're supposed to get man-on-man boxing out. That can't happen.
The game is tied at 82. Now Jamison defending on James. LeBron tried to split through and lost it. Timeout is called by the Cavaliers. So Smith with the save and saves the possession by taking the timeout. 3:25 to go in the fourth. Back after this. Play of the game.
Well, the Cavs, they don't run a lot, but you see how their defense ignites their offense. A block shot there by Zydrunas. Rudy Gibson does a good job of finding King James in the open court for the dunk. LeBron, 8 of 19, 32 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, working together.
3:25 to play in the fourth. Both teams have 2 full timeouts and the 20. Both teams over the foul limit.
And now Eddie Jordan bringing him back, Brendan Haywood for Sungala. Get a little bit bigger. Watch Jordan possibly go to a zone here with 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Haywood playing with 5 fouls. James, guarded by Stevenson, finding the open Joe Smith. And it's deflected out. Last touch by the Wizards.
Well, that's why Jordan was inserting Haywood, bigger size, to go against Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Ilgauskas gets a hand on the basketball to keep it alive. Kind of desperate move by the Wizards, knocking it out of bounds.
Ilgauskas 7'3", Haywood at 7 feet. New shot clock for the Cavaliers. 3 minutes remaining in the fourth. The game tied. Again, James trying to split through, and he's tied up. Good play by Daniels. Stevenson hurt his hand.
Well, it's his wrist that's been hurting. He fell on it a few times in that first half. Stevenson. But this is a good jump ball if you're the Cavaliers. You know you're going to win it. If I'm LeBron James, I'm looking around to see where the advantage. But they've got to be careful. There's 9 seconds left on the shot clock.
And the Cavaliers do control. Now the shot clock to 6. Gibson has to force. Wizards and Cavaliers tied at 82 as we approach 2.5 to play here in the fourth. Jamison trying to get it to Haywood. Did not expect the pass.
Got to take that shot if you're Jamison.
The Cleveland Cavaliers try to close out the series in 5. Washington looking to extend to a 6th game Friday night. James will head back to the line. Foul is on Haywood. That's number 6. And once again, LeBron with 2 shots, 13 of 16 at the line. So Brendan Haywood departs, 1 of 6 from the field, 4 points, 5 rebounds. And as LeBron James walks to the free throw stripe, let's check in with Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studios. EJ.
All right, marvelous. The winner of that series gets the winner of the series that continues after this. Boston and Atlanta, Kevin Garnett and the Celtics back home. Are going to be a rowdy place up there in Boston in a series that's tied at 2 games apiece. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Ernie. So James has given his Cavaliers a 2-point lead. Daniels gets it across.
Well, Haywood fouling out. You got Sungala in who's more of a pick and pop. He's going to spread the floor and keep Zydrunas away from the basket.
Butler. Ball was knocked away, lost control. It's a 2-on-1. West with James. West all the way. It counts. And the foul on Stevenson.
You knew at some point in time these Cavaliers were going to make runs. Here's Caron Butler. He gets into the defense, trying to make something happen. He may have gotten fouled by LeBron James on the arms, but LeBron does a good job of giving it up to Delonte West, who finishes in the open court.
Delonte West, who had the game winner on Sunday with a big bucket right here on the 2-on-1 break. Six unanswered for the Cavaliers. The Wizards take a timeout. When we come back from a quick break, we will have Charles Schwab. Time to talk.
Play that one in, come with a quick stop, and not panic. You're still in this ballgame.
Wizards have 2 20-second timeouts remaining. They have been scoreless the last 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Remember, Washington had that 1-point lead. They're up 82-81. And for the most part, the Cavaliers have done it at the foul line.
Yeah, they really struggled in this fourth quarter from the field, getting most of their points from the free throw line.
1:45 to play. Sangaila going at Ilgauskas. Rejected. Smith came over to help on the reverse attempt. Ilgauskas can't find anybody and takes a timeout. Mike Brown leaping up and down, trying to get the attention of Zydrunas, screaming at him to take a timeout.
And this is a very odd play for Eddie Jordan and the Wizards. You give the ball to Darius Sangaila, asking him to take the ball off the dribble against 7'3" Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Nice block for the Cavaliers.
You see the timeouts remaining. So both clubs do have 2 left with 1:37 to play. And following the Cavalier timeout with Zydrunas Ilgauskas being pressured, finally calling for time. It'll be Cleveland ball in their front court. Cavaliers looking to hold on to wind up this series in 5, and then they'll be able to rest as they await the winner between the Celtics and the Hawks. Washington will need a dramatic turn here to send it to a Game 6 in our nation's capital Friday night.
Cavaliers electing LeBron James. Shot clock winding down.
And both clubs are over the foul. But here's James for 3, way off. 1:15 left. Butler gives it back outside. There's Jamison for 3. Butler able to get to it. That shot was deflected. The shot attempted by Jamison. So it's a 3-point lead for the Cavs.
And no need to foul if you're the Wizards. Play solid defense and make them take a tough shot.
Once again, the Cavaliers will take their time. The shot clock is to 7. Gibson for 3. And that is not a good foul. Joe Smith reaching in, stops the clock, and puts Antonio Daniels at the line.
Well, you get a chance to score with no time coming off the clock and set your defense. Wide open look by Daniel Gibson. Antonio Daniels doing a good job on that weak side board. This is exactly what Eddie Jordan wanted. You can put points on the board, close this to within 1, and set up your defense with 43 seconds left. Plenty of time here.
Daniels making his first appearance at the line. As you saw, he is a 78% free throw shooter. Antonio Daniels back in the starting lineup for the injured Gilbert Arenas. And cut it to 1. Cavaliers 87, the Wizards 86.
Now the question is LeBron James, like he did in Game 4, going to dominate the ball and get a wide open shot for Delonte West or Daniel Gibson once again?
West cuts to the baseline against Gibson on the left side. Here's West taking from Gibson. Smith. The tip missed by Ilgauskas. And it's Washington ball. 10 seconds, make it 11 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter as the Wizards take a timeout, still very much alive. The Cavaliers up by 1. Washington does have a 20-second timeout remaining following this timeout. How do the Wizards play it? How do the Cavs play it?
Well, the ball has to be in Caron Butler's hands because he's the only one really that can do something off the dribble and create not only for himself but for a teammate. And watch for Antoine Jamison as well as Antonio Daniels. He's been wide open when they come to double, wide open shot.
11.2 remaining in this fourth quarter. And the Cavaliers clinging to a 1-point lead prior to the game. I asked you, what does Washington have to do to extend this series?
Well, the Butler did it tonight. 30 points on 10 of 21 field goals. They're even on the glass. And we said create offense with their defense. 11 points off turnovers and 7 fast break points.
For Washington, the season has come down to these final moments. They're down by 1 with the ball. Butler will throw in. Jamison. Butler, played by James. There's Butler. He scores! Washington by 1, and the Cavaliers take a timeout with 3 and 9/10 seconds remaining.
Well, like we said, Caron Butler, other than Gilbert Arenas, who is out for this game, is the only one who can really create offense for himself. He does a good job of taking LeBron James off the dribble, possibly taking the hit, and finishing with the layup.
Well, the Wizards were trailing 87-82 with 1:04 to go, and they have reeled off 6 unanswered to take the lead. The 12th lead change of the game. You see 1 timeout remaining for each club. Both teams over the foul limit. And the Wizards looking to hold on to extend this series. Cleveland hoping to wrap it up with the last-second shot.
Well, just underneath 4 seconds left. If I'm LeBron James, he's going to get it out top. Enough time for him to get to the basket.
James putting a move on Stevenson. Here's the runner. He banks it. The Wizards have won. They've come from behind in the final minute to pull out the victory after losing their last 8 games here at the Q. Their last win here in Cleveland, February of 2006, prior to tonight.
Well, LeBron James, he did the right thing. Take the ball to the basket. Was there contact? Perhaps incidental at best. LeBron cannot finish, and the Wizards are going home for a Game 6.
Cavaliers wanted the foul call on Sangaila. And the Washington coaching staff remaining on the floor to debate it with the officials, but that's the final score. And as you mentioned, there will be a Game 6 back in Washington on Friday night. Washington with an 88-87 victory here in Cleveland over the Cavaliers. Thanks to our producer, Scooter Bettino, and our director. And a happy birthday to Renardo Lowe. Statistician Brian Taylor. Coming up, following a quick break, it is Inside the NBA. For Marty Snyder, Reggie Miller, I'm Marv Albert saying good night from Cleveland. A terrific finish. LeBron James, the high point man with 34, had 24 of the 34 in the second half. Caron Butler, a huge game for the Wizards, a playoff career high, 32. Coming up, it's the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks.